Well, what seemed like the impossible a couple of hours ago has happened. AVANT get the first two maps in this best of 5 series, and now they are in the lead 2-1 against Renegades. And who would have thought that was going to be the case? Certainly not me. But one thing that we did say when we were analysing that game was, even should AVANT get those first couple of maps and go 2-1 up here, we would still kind of think that Renegades might go into the third map as one of the favourites. And, I mean, does the situation change now that you've actually seen it happen, Pilski?
No.
So you still would back Renegades
Because
from here?
none of what I think is based on what happens in this actual series. Like, if particularly because I'm predicting before I've even seen those first two maps. And I'm still going to back Renegades. And the reason for that is we haven't seen Renegades lose very many series domestically. Last time was, like, I think back in September of last year, which is where they lost an upper bracket final game and then went on to win the grand final of the tournament. I think last time they lost one of these competitions might have been like MDL against Order the middle of last year or something like that. So you just have to back a team with such incredible consistency. Yeah, they're looking pretty mortal, let's be real, in this series, but at the end of the day, you know, even in series where they've had underwhelming performances, they've shown the propensity to turn it around. They've had such outstanding consistency in this region. You still have to back them until there's 16 rounds on the board for AVANT and they actually put it over the line. You still have to back them.
Okay, Kev, as a positive guy or a self-labelled positive guy, what are your thoughts going into this third map? I mean, surely you're the one that's predicted AVANT, so you're certainly the one that we'd be expecting to sort of sing their praises here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've done a lot of the good work. When we saw that map, Vito, I was the first one to say there's a definite chance for them to actually take this 3-1, and this is the most critical map of them all. Like, this Vito has actually worked perfectly for AVANT. Because once again, it's Mirage. This is the map where I'd actually give them the chances, more chances of them taking their victory against Renegades. The dangerous part now, Renegades, they're going to be fully sitting up in their chairs. This is like the full game of sweat mode, right? Where you just go, no, we cannot lose. Like, we refuse to lose. This is where the dangerous part comes out. There's no more lives here for Renegades. This is the full force that they're going to bring now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably something that we would have expected to see over the last couple of maps, but not the case, at least for the majority. One person that has impressed, at least on the Renegades roster, has been Dexter, who had a very solid performance on Dust 2 and a really solid performance on Nuke, but just not enough to kind of get Renegades over the line.
Chris Nong, I love that. Yeah, I guess that is kind of what's going through the opponent's heads most of the time when you're playing against him. He's had a really good performance. In my mind, he's not the one who really is going to matter here for Renegades. Some of the other lads really need to step up, particularly on a map like Mirage. You see some of the individuals, particularly you're looking at like Hats and Malta, I think it is, over towards that B side of the map. Those guys could shut down some of those B plays. It could make a massive difference on that CT side. Maybe if Sicko gets going with the AWP, it's going to take an across the board performance for the Renegades to start to turn this one around, in my mind.
It is indeed, and that is a question that we'll be asking when we come back from the break. It is map 3 coming up here and Mirage, and potential for AVANT to find a 3-0. It's going to be crazy. Get your PogChamps ready in the chat for a big map here. It's Mirage. We're heading into it with Renegades down a map to AVANT. And AVANT up 2-1, which puts them on match series extra point, whatever it is. It really doesn't matter. AVANT are one map away from beating Renegades in a best of 5 in a grand final, and that is something that is fairly unfathomable when you consider the results that Renegades have had over the course of the last 2 to 3 years as a roster here domestically in ANZ.
Yep, absolutely. I thought Mitch was going to take that in all honesty. So, look, this is the part where Renegades, backs against the wall, this is the part where the championship caliber comes out from them at this stage. And they haven't really lost a domestic series, right? And as you said, the last couple of years, when it comes to the crunch time, it just seems to be going for them. But this AVANT roster, they're in the best position right now. You're ahead in a best of 5. Mentally, it looks like their heads are all inside the game at the moment. That's the key difference. Like a year before, if you got this roster together, I'd said no, like no way this roster could win. Mentally, like sometimes the confidence just shook whenever things go wrong for them. Completely different look coming into this entire DreamHack tournament. So there is also one bad thing I have to say for AVANT. Even though they're up 2-1 at this stage, I've predicted for them, which is never a good thing.
Never a good sign.
So I'm sorry about that.
So as part of your prediction, there was a caveat, though, that if AVANT was going to win, they had to do it in 3 maps.
They had to do it in 3 because Inferno, I think, traditionally has looked very weak. Renegades, that's their strong bastion. That's their stronghold. If they can come and take Mirage in this one, yep, I think it's going to be Renegades' victory 3-2. But Mirage, if it's taken by AVANT right here, right now, obviously it's going to be their victory. But I said that was their win condition. They had to take 3 in a row.
Well, here we go on to Mirage, and as I've said in the previous couple of maps, it's going to be a big one. It really feels like every single map in this series matters until it is over. Renegades, for the first time in this series, are now no longer favoured by the betters, and AVANT pull ahead. They do have that map advantage, but sometimes we tend to wonder whether that matters or not until it comes to crunch time. Renegades really don't seem to activate, but now it is crunch time. And this is where we're going to separate the boys from the men. AVANT might well put themselves into a victory over Renegades today.
Offnu trying to scout things out from underpass. You see a smoke being thrown out towards the A-bomb site from Sterling in ramp. He's continuing to throw some utility in that direction, but the rest of AVANT getting a move on straight out the B side of the map. Spotted out by Hats.
Yep, so bomb plant goes down at the very least, and APOC, he's pretty confident, has been one of those critical players on the pistol round looking to challenge, but Hats and Sicko able to pretty much complete the retake with pretty big ease, and I'd say that Sterling doesn't really have a chance to do anything.
No, he won't get there in time.
Yeah. I mean, if it was planted for short, maybe he's able to get a kill.
Well, that is a little bit more like it for Renegades, isn't it? I heard a bit of a there from you, Pilski. What's ticking through the mind?
You just see those shots come out, man. It's just like, oh, AVANT's got all their heads banged off very quickly.
Actually kind of good.
Yeah. Funny that. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't count it over until you see 16 on the scoreboard for AVANT. That is the rhetoric that we've been really repeating in this match.
My big worry is that, I mean, look, it sounds like a bit of a silly thing to say, but a team like Renegades is always looking forward for those international opportunities, and unfortunately with the state of global health at the moment, there is no international opportunities to be snatching up. So my worry for Renegades is how they're going to get themselves motivated to win a series like this.
Motivations are on the line right now is that if they drop this, they lose. No one wants to be labelled as losers. Everyone wants to be winners. Mitch?
I think it's going to be pretty hard to say that Renegades are losers, even if they drop this series.
Well, they just lost, so they wouldn't be winners. Excuse me, Mitch. Look, Mitch is just trying to make excuses for the fact that he loses more games than he wins, so I guess that's fair enough.
Wow.
Renegades are going about this anti-eco pretty comfortably. For the first time, it feels like, after we see a pistol, we actually don't get a force buy.
Oh, that's a great shot.
Oh.
Oh, no. You know when Sicko's in that kind of a mood, hitting shots with the scout, of all things. It's going to be a pretty rough run once he gets the AWP in hand. APOC here is on the B site. But Malta seems to have found the timing and will secure the round for Renegades. 4 guns alive. Starting to shape up nicely early on in the piece for Renegades.
First buy coming out for AVANT. See if they can turn their fortunes around. Would imagine Renegades is probably just going to hold on to this Scout and a handful of Famishes, etc. MP9. So it's not the most dangerous buy in the world that AVANT will have to conquer.
Are going to be fighting mid though, nice and early on, and often who's got the responsibility of trying to hold on to this or trying to at least decoy enough utility.
It is just a 4-1, Ofnu being sent out mid with the utility. Utility indicates that it might be a short push from AVANT, but really it is just a bust straight out Palace. Dexter's seeming like he's pretty well aware of this, not only dunks the nade, but Crosshair trained perfectly.
Ofnu gets aggressive, but that's the kind of an aim duel that you would have seen AVANT winning in the last couple of maps that does go the way of Renegades here on Mirage. It really seems like they're fired up as Dexter hits a good shot into Blitz. The entries just aren't sticking right now for AVANT. Molly goes into Connector, and there's a team flash there for APOC to deal with, so it's just not happening right now for AVANT, it feels like. Sicko also hitting shots with the Scout. You can see it all coming together really early on into Peace. I know this is so early to be saying it, but 3 rounds in and Renegades are looking like they've turned around their series.
Yep, and Renegades actually taking 4 rifles in as well, completely once again. This is Renegades that are now starting to sit up, and AVANT, I think, overthinking things a little bit, because now they're in the lead, right? You come into the series as the underdog when you're playing from a deficit. That's the part where you can play your best. Now that you're ahead in the series, they just got to forget about that. Harder than it sounds, though.
They're just going to take a save. Some smokes into middle. Trying to creep up Connector, do a little damage to the CT. Over adjustment from Sicko, and APOC actually just sneaks out Palace and takes it out.
That said, though, all the deals are working still in the favour of Renegades, so it's a good start from APOC, but the rest of the boys from AVANT can't find any picks, and the money for the CT is starting to build up a little bit, which is good, especially if they can keep all these rifles alive in the AWP.
There's been very few kills at the start of the game for these AVANT players. Need to make sure they're not too flat coming into Mirage here. After all, especially with them starting out on the T side, one of the most important things in this map is that you're hitting your shots. Mirage is a very no-nonsense kind of map. There will be no fancy tactics that will get you away with rounds very consistently. It very much is. You must be hitting your shots on the entry into the bomb sites and in your fights towards middle.
Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it really hasn't seemed like AVANT have been doing anything particularly fancy in Dust 2 or Nuke. It has largely been AVANT looking really sharp. The firepower's been there. They're just not being able to translate that across here onto Mirage.
Yep, and that's just another case of Blitz. You saw earlier on he was able to land a few shots, and now it's completely starting to fall apart as the opening deals just work for Renegades.
Feels like the first kill in a long time that we've actually seen go back the way of AVANT. There was one in the last round from APOC.
It buys them a little more space towards middle. Renegades is conceding that part of the map and choosing to split up into duos towards the A and B sides. It will be Hats and Malta that are tested, and they're actually going to go through a push into apartments. APOC's traded back and a double spray down. Good adjustment from Hats.
You bet your horse is going to peek out as well. Finds the timing to perfection. And that's a quick 5-0 for Renegades. And AVANT, I would say maybe a time to call a tactical timeout. Nice and early on just to try to stop the bleeding before it's going to begin. Otherwise, they're in big danger of being shut out in Mirage. And also in big danger of actually losing the series as well.
That's right.
There you have it, tac timeout.
Well, the tables certainly have turned, haven't they? It was Renegades that were in this position on Nuke.
It must be the betters. Every time they favour a team, they start losing.
You just can't win.
No.
Betters absolutely molding at this series, fellas.
I'd be molding as well if I spent my entire paycheck losing.
They've molded so hard their head's fallen off.
That's a grim picture.
I mean, that's what we've been watching.
That's Jordan's nightmare is if he actually starts like becoming bold, to be honest. If he starts losing his hair, he's actually going to be a little bit upset.
Kev, we've already established that my sleep paralysis demon is you doing the Naruto run. So,
hey, I pull it off pretty well. That's all I'm saying, as it looks like a bit of a fake utility to A.
Yeah, they're just trying to create space for the other players to come out middle, and they've caught Malta off guard, so that's worked quite nicely for them. But Sicko trades one back as they try and commit up short. Actually committing to this B bomb site. Sterling's not really in position to capitalize. Trades just everywhere all over the map. And AVANT trying to finish things off towards B here. What a shot from Blitz.
okay.
The first 2 kills that he gets this map are the most critical to secure this first round for AVANT.
It's a bit more like it from AVANT. You know, this is more like what we saw on Nuke and Dust 2. Maybe that chat was just, all right, let's just go back to the basics, do what we were doing on those first couple of maps, make it work. Knife kill here, surely.
Yes.
Yes. That's what you want to see from AVANT. That was a complete different look from AVANT, where they're able to get the entries working for them. It looks like that tactical pause where it was probably just, all right, guys, go kill. Remember when you did that point and click? Remember that feeling? Do it again.
There's a little more to it than that. Utility really creating the space there in terms of the rotations for AVANT to capitalize.
Oh, same strategy, but is Malta ready for this? Nope, he's caught out, pants down once again. It just feels like we're watching the previous round, but this time it's the double AWP that actually works a charm for Renegades. Is they able to hold on against the aggression for now?
Difference being APOC works his way out onto the A bomb site and might be able to find something here. We'll fall to Dexter. Sterling's been spotted as well. It's just an almost perfect looking round for Renegades until Hats misses that shot, and maybe the door does open slightly ajar now for AVANT. It's really going to take some pretty sick shooting though from Offnu to get them onto this bomb site. Sterling covers off the market angle, but he'll fall to Hats. And Offnu can't really offer too much resistance either. So Renegades, they just reset things back again. They're back in control.
AVANT do have enough to reinvest in this round. How's this going to be a little light on the cash? Has to go down to a Mach 10. And Renegades established themselves a little bit of money after a clean round 4 alive. And they are dominating on the CT side of Mirage here. Usually you see a big streak of a scoreline on the T side. AVANT, it's the double smokes towards short once again, and then just a fast play out the B bomb site, trying to counter this double AWP perhaps.
I'm not sure that it's working out the way they had intended it to. The double AWP is going to town right now for Renegades. That's finally shut down, but it's Sicko. And so far, only the AWPs that have found the kills in this round. Maybe Malta will finish things with the rifle. He does. It's 7-1. And Renegades off to a blistering start on Mirage.
End of the day, if the flashes aren't layered effectively enough when you're coming into the bomb site, then as long as the AWPers are in the right positions, you're still going to be losing players on the way in. It was a good rotation timing from Sicko as well, not thrown off whatsoever by those 2 smokes towards middle. They don't stop him from rotating into market with enough time.
Airstrike's going to come out into Sicko, but he's been pretty good at avoiding these so far.
He throws a nade at them and gets away with ease.
Yeah, and he's going to hear 4 nades and goes, yeah, okay, cool, they're all at mid. I can shoot them now. I mean, I did say if you... Okay, APOC just... Big 1 beat. But I felt like I've seen this story once again, where there's like 1 cool kill. And then the rest of Renegades just decide to go om nom nom. 4 guns alive.
You know, again, I keep going back to Dust 2 and Nuke, but getting a kill like that for APOC is the sort of thing where on those first couple of maps we might have actually seen AVANT do something with that round. But so far, every single time that there's been even a glimmer of hope for AVANT, it's really just been stripped away so quickly by Renegades with trades, effectively, quickly as well. They don't let the situation get out of hand here on Mirage. Very, very different to how things were panning out on Dust 2 and Nuke.
This is what I mean. This is Renegades back on their A game, lads.
Yeah.
They shouldn't look mortal. These last couple of maps, I feel like I'm watching AVANT play a team that's more on their level.
Yeah, I mean,
this is back to Renegades just in domination.
It just goes back to the fact that Renegades, they lose a little bit too much. Then there's like, you know, the speech from Dexter who probably goes and tells them, it's like, all right, guys, we need to stop losing. We need to start winning again. And everyone goes, aye, aye, Captain.
Yes.
Inspiring. Bit of a slower round this time around from AVANT. Smoke's invested at the start of every round towards middle. This time it's top, mid and window. Has her creeping out underpass. A bit more of a standard, more defaulty round from AVANT. Previously it's been a lot more faster plays that have been shut down time and time again. This time maybe taking things slower, a bit more nuance. Could find them some success, but again, Renegades find the first man advantage, and AVANT, even after taking a tactical pause, after choosing to go a little bit slower, they're still losing the man advantage. Still being aggressed on by Renegades. I just can't win a duel all of a sudden. Where's this come from?
It's come from Renegades just landing all their shots. And I think there's the confidence right now where Dexter is just going full BM mode, just jumping window like that, jumping through a smoke as well. Malta is going to complete the shutdown. Another clean round. Sicko, I mean, you can't even say he misses that shot. He actually clips Blitz for about 13 points of damage and then cleans up from Ticket. Yeah, so I think we're going to see Inferno very quickly here.
Pack it up, boys. Kind of gets to that point, doesn't it?
Yep. This was like the test where it was, okay, AVANT have done well enough to wake up Renegades in this state. They've poked the bear. Like, they've just gone, hey, how's it going? We're up 2-1. And the Dragons are woken.
Well, maybe if they had won that upper bracket match, 2 maps would have been enough, but it's not looking like it this time. Maybe it's the Kev curse.
Well, look, Mirage isn't over just yet. It's certainly looking like it will be over quickly, but it's not over yet.
It's for me, it's over because the ability for AVANT to adapt and actually win these aim deals is completely gone. A lot of these like rounds where you saw them winning earlier on, it was just down to the fact they were able to get all these entries across. And like 1 or 2 good picks here and there isn't going to make a round happen. They've all just completely cooled down. They just shut out of this match. No one's fragging.
We should stop asking you for your prediction, Kev, I reckon.
I think so as well, because I think teams will actually start like emailing me and just go, can you please not predict for us? It's unfortunate because I actually genuinely think that AVANT had a chance in this series, and they still do coming into Inferno. I hate to write them off so early, but it's just a different look from Renegades on Mirage for this time being.
Well, at least they haven't lost a player this early on in the round, AVANT. Sending Hazard into connector. Could be a recipe for success, but the utility denies him any control. At least AVANT in some more forward positions where maybe they can create some opportunities with this 1-3-1 and choose a path that will find them some success in the mid-round. Maybe Renegades isn't going to allow that to happen. Going aggressive towards ramp, but actually the flash from Inns doesn't really aid Dexter. In fact, it kind of gets him killed. And AVANT, they're not going to slow down in the mid-round. 1 player towards connector. They're going to pounce on this A-bomb site, but a push into Palace from Renegades. And Sicko playing retake on CT actually does miss the shot.
And Inns actually goes down to Palace, so that important position not working. AVANT just needing to get this bomb plant down, but Hats is all the way posted on short for now. Finally, the bomb plant does go down, and Malta can't really connect the shots. They might just have to back out and save. AVANT do manage to take a very good A round.
Huh.
Do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, how much does the damage really matter when Renegades have this much money? I suppose not for the next round, but later on down the track it may. AVANT will look to salvage 5 rounds on this T side. Sicko can't keep the AWP alive either. So that will be a hefty reinvestment from Renegades. Is it the start of something?
Oh, that was just one of the rounds where finally AVANT able to get a couple of picks working in their favor, and they're able to leverage that to success.
Another way of putting it is the first round AVANT didn't get owned in the first 20 seconds.
Oh,
There's another opening pick for them, actually.
it's great. Love to see it.
Well, they're grinding a few picks, a few rounds back towards the end of this half. It's something for Avant. Push to top mid from Malta. Might be the timing that Renegades needs to recover from this man deficit.
That's a lot of information. And often it goes down at the B bomb side as well, thanks to hats being posted up in the pixel angle. So this is now perilous for Avant because they don't know it yet, but they're being encroached. It's all down to Malta finding the timing at the moment. He's going to spot the bomb. He's going to get the kill. That's the bomb lost. And Inns is just going to put a further dent into the attack as Renegades just cleans up 4 alive. In the previous round, just a very small blip in their plans to completely close out Mirage for now, Mitch.
Don't know what else to say, really. That was a nice little boost at the start of the round to get them that initial pick. But that's where it ends.
I mean, what would you do here for Avant to try to at least get back these last 2 rounds?
Me personally, or pretend I'm cosplaying as Avant?
Cosplay as Avant.
Just maybe a little more success with the slower rounds. This time, actually, that's a really nice opportunity. We'll hold that thought. It's actually, they're doing very, very well. Have cleared out Inns on balcony as well. Put themselves into a 3-on-2. They smoke off connector, which is the main danger territory for Renegades to find a pick in this 2-on-3. They put the bomb down, so they're in a good position. Re-smoke on connector as well. Looking nice for Avant.
Looks like Hats and Malta will be giving the round up. Not too big of a deal for Renegades here, really. They're probably thinking, what does a difference make between 2 and 3? Between 3 and 4? Seems like too much of a one-sided first half for Renegades to really struggle in the second, but cannot count it over until the Fat Lady sings. And 11-3 the scoreline. Avant will certainly be looking for their 4th, just to give them that bit of extra time to play with in the second half. Look, who's to say pistol round in the second half, go up to 11-7, win the first gun round. Maybe start to build something from that. I mean, I know it's grasping at straws really for Avant, isn't it? But that's the kind of situation they're in. Dexter's going to get aggressive in mid.
Punish for it. Nice work by Hazard. The flashes don't put him off whatsoever. And another man advantage, which has been a point of success for Avant. And again, they're not going to slow things down once they obtain it. They're going to speed it up. And it's working beautifully for them. It just, Renegades dropping like dominoes.
Malta's the last alive, 22 HP on his person, but not for too long. Offner will finish it off. It's 4-11, and certainly not the half that Avant were looking for to help them close this series out 3-1, but still very much a possibility as we head into the second half. Back into map number 3 here, and we're in the second half, and it seems finally we're seeing some signs of life from Renegades, who were looking a little bit lackluster after the first couple of maps, but true to their form, they always tend to come good at the 11th hour, and here they are, up 11-4 against AVANT. Makes life a little difficult for AVANT in closing this series out, but hey, a pistol round and maybe a good first gun round might be the difference maker for this team on the CT side. That, however, is not how they would have liked to have started things.
Yeah, and often missing a lot of shots as well, now under pressure and just going to pretty much die there. So the pistol's working pretty well so far for Renegades, as now the retake has to commence from 3 different angles, so all the players have to be fighting more than their weight at this stage. All starting with the first contact over here. Dexter can't seem to land on the heads, and that's actually a lot of control for B-Apps. Hazza should be collapsed upon soon. And that's the kit lost for the CTs to play with. There you have it. Renegades should be able to take up this pistol.
Up to 12-4. Very one-sided. Just really hasn't even felt like AVANT's been in this one. AVANT do like to go for this second round force. Looks like they're going to be going for it again. Two scouts, handful of upgraded pistols and armor. Sterling going to hold on to an extra $700 so he can try and buy in the 4th round. And get that AWP if AVANT doesn't end up finding success in this one. What do you even do? He cops a nade, double Molotov on top of him.
That's the moment where he realised he probably shouldn't have been there.
Smoke onto window, and Renegades, they just group up, back towards B, head over towards Malta.
Yes, APOC up to his normal shenanigans, as you can see, just jump spotting the pixel angle.
Yep.
And he goes away just at the wrong time. Well, I mean, it's a 3 and 5. You're going to have to make a few gambles if you're AVANT. APOC throw in sight with a Desert Eagle in hand, but he can't connect the first shot onto Hats. It's actually Ofnu that's able to do so. But APOC's all left in his lonesome now, and the SMGs will just be able to clean house, building up a little bit of cash for Renegades, and they know that they were up against the Force Buy. Now they understand they're probably only against light pistols. Not going to be as scary as the previous one.
Should be a pretty clean anti-eco here for Renegades, who are already looking to put themselves onto 14 rounds.
Okay, they haven't really cleared out some of these players yet, but the Zeus finding no impact whatsoever. There's a lot of Zeuses here. The bomb hasn't really gone down just yet as Dex... Oh, Malta! Sterling went forward at that stage. It could have been a little bit dicey.
They recovered from it well. Although Renegades lose 2 guns, they still go up to 14. Now's AVANT's opportunity to try to get something happening. Buying up, getting the AWP, full rifles with sets of utility. Sicko not holding on to the UMP, upgrading to an AK, so it is very much a full buy for Renegades. Sterling misses this jump up onto short. Has to play from the bottom of connector, but he has avoided all of those flashes nicely and hits the nice leg onto Hats. Unfortunately, doesn't secure a kill though. After that initial contact towards middle, AVANT are going to leave middle entirely. Just leaving Blitz over towards jungle to contain anybody trying to push up into window or up connector. Hazza's on top of the pot in towards a ramp. Bit of an off angle, giving AVANT a little more information.
Still time for them to work with, though, but Renegades looking like they're going to be crunching on the B-bomb site soon, Mitch.
Yep. Just walking up short. That smoke blocks any view of any of these T's crossing from Sterling, and now it's on to Offnu and APOC on the B-bomb site.
Well, Offnu at least starts off well on the low HP member, but now APOC has to try to dance around, try to flit around to find the shots with the silenced M4. Teammates are going to be locked behind utility for now. Of course, it's APOC at least punching above his weight, but Sicko doesn't need the AWP. Utilizing the AK-47 to some great success as now the pressure is going to come in from Hazza from short, but he just can't seem to connect onto the bench player. Of course, it's going to be Sterling coming in with the AWP to make the difference at the end of the day alongside with Hazza, who brings it back. So at the very least, AVANT staying alive so far, but with that bomb plant and the 3 rounds before that Renegades took pretty easily, they can still buy into this if they choose to do so.
And it's an expensive one for AVANT. Dropping 3 guns is going to really deplete their money reinvesting into this one. At least they're able to put up some semblance of a defense. But dear God, Sicko's on one this game. 25-7.
Yeah, he was already on good form coming into the CT side where he just pretty much took over for Renegades at the AWP, and now looking to continue the form with the AK.
Oh no.
That's disgusting.
Don't know about that one from Malta, but hey, Renegades will take it. Into the 3-on-3 with Blitz at least being able to get hats. He does deny the bomb plant. Malta's going to have to retrieve.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Dexter does face at the end, but now down to the 2-on-2 with the bomb lost in the open. Sicko has to stand up firm. At least he knows where both the CTs are. Might actually not know where APOC is, so he's able to not even win the first aim duel against the low HP member as Blitz just double dinks him with the A4. So AVANT keeping it lively towards the end here.
Yeah, putting Renegades on an eco, actually. Very nicely done.
He is moving on a ladder.
Indeed.
This isn't Call of Duty?
No.
Oh, that shouldn't be happening then.
You've been casting the wrong game this whole time.
Everyone knows when you climb on a ladder, you have to use both of your hands in COD. Come on, mate.
But you can always just jump off of it and shoot people in midair.
Excellent. Well,
We both played Pro Mod, Kevin. We know how this works.
I don't know if you know how it works anymore, as it's going to be a Palace contact play.
You just jump off the ladder onto the silent boost. Either way, though, they're straight out of balcony. Actually making some moves onto this A-bomb site, getting the bomb down.
Inns has an AK in hand as well, and that's a dangerous prospect. Now, that's not a whole lot of HP to play with here. It's predominantly going to have to be Inns, and it's not going to last for too long. AVANT will dispatch of that round relatively comfortably.
3 guns and a bomb plant. I don't know how comfortable they're feeling.
True.
Especially being down 14-7.
True.
This is the classic. She'll be right, mate.
I feel like every round's just a struggle for AVANT.
I mean, how many? At what stage would you say this is possible for AVANT, though? Like,
When
genuinely.
they hit 16.
No, at what part do you actually genuinely believe the comeback can actually happen? Because Renegade's only 2 rounds away. All they need to do is just find one at this stage, and AVANT's economy is shook.
They get to 12-14 with a decent economy, I think, for me. Still quite a ways away.
Full loss bonus when you're ahead on the T side. It's just a little bit too strong. You just can't make comebacks happen on the CT side. So like I said, when you get to 16, till then the pressure is constant. And Renegades is applying pressure to middle. Offnu's trying to contest a little bit from short as Dexter's slipping into connector. So far, so good for Avant, but Renegades still have opportunities in the mid-round here.
Nice face.
Well, you're saying opportunities, but these opportunities are starting to fade away now. This 2-on-4. The flashbang allows Blitz to peek out. A 1-for-1. Bombs lost at Sandwich. And it should be a pretty easy cleanup for the Avant at this stage. But if Inns is able to take 1 or 2 more guns and make it costly for Avant, it's going to be good. Sterling is going to be the first point of contact, but his time is going to be ticking away. Their attention is going to be diverted elsewhere. Maybe he's going to be at A ramp. Maybe he's going to be elsewhere. You can see he's going to check ticket. That's going to allow APOC to swing out, but the shots are starting to miss for some of the members. Still Avant able to grab another one, but 3 going down.
It's just one too many, isn't it?
A little bit too hard for him to go and retrieve the bomb from Sandwich there. And I know me just saying that word makes your mouth water, Jordan. You love your sandwiches.
I love my salad sandwiches. Did not bring one today, though. I ran out of ham yesterday and cucumber. What's even the point if you can't have ham or cucumber on your sandwich? I don't really think there is one.
Avant's still very broke here. That's my issue. So unless they can survive with 4+ players, which has been near impossible for them so far, they're still going to be in murky waters. There's the flashes getting ready. In's going to chuck those over Palace. Blind anyone at stairs or on the site.
Better start here for Sterling. Malta's also tagged down, and Hazza will have a bit of a free farm. This is looking
Very
better
nice
for Avant. That's what they need. 9-14. Maybe the comeback can still happen. We totally counted them out of Mirage since the outset, really.
Oh, at the beginning I did.
I mean, from round 3, I said Renegades look like they're going to win this map. So I'm still on that hype train, but hey, Avant gets back to 12. Decent economy.
I think the difference here as well is that Dexter's not really finding this mid-game success at the moment. He's been shut down a lot of these times, and now, as soon as I say no mid-round, he decides just to prove me wrong and just delete Sterling. So Renegades already up on a 4-on-3 nice and early on in this round, thanks to some mid-brawls going on in their favour.
Yeah, the good news for Avant is they had a solid enough round in the last that even if they do drop this one, at least they won't be completely crushed economically and they can try and keep fighting for overtime. But with APOC being the main man towards short here, make something happen if Renegades goes towards this B bomb site. Maybe there's a chance. He's had buckets of impact so far here in this series, and he's going to need to do it again.
But Renegades have just slow walked out. This is the perfect approach, but maybe APOC finds the timing.
He does find the timing, but not the shot. Smolter gets across for free. Dexter falls to Hazza, though. And suddenly now it starts to look like Avant might hold. Hazza's gotten himself another one. Short, at the very least, now is clear for Renegades, but there's a double swing from both teams, and Hats just sprays both Hazza and Offnu out of the server. And I think that probably sprays Avant out of the server as well. 15-9, Renegades put themselves on map point.
Had a huge chance of taking that round, in all honesty, for Avant, but a couple of missed shots towards the end cost them at the end of the day. And I don't know how much this tactical timeout's going to help, because I felt like if they were able to get to 12 or 13 with the score being at 14, there's just no pressure for them to play with at that stage. Momentum would have been in their favour. But Renegades, all it takes is another round. Maybe Hats popping off like he did just then. Maybe Malta. Saw Dexter getting that injury as well. That's the threat. And there's nothing Avant can really do. And it's a really subpar buy, lacking on utility on some of these members. You might have to just go fight mid again. You have to take some extremity with this limited utility.
Yeah.
And Sterling's having a shocker.
I don't
Only 8
know.
kills.
On Mirage, I feel like you're less pressured when you play with a lack of utility to actually have to push or anything like that. I think you can get a lot done without the utility. Sure, over towards the B-bomb site, maybe it makes a bit more of a difference, but you are right. Avant's going to play heavily towards middle. Nice flash from Offnu, but it is only a 1-for-1. 2-for-2, actually. That's where it went a little too far, I think.
Yeah, always just one more player there for Renegades. Inns is caught by Offnu, though, so very quickly, early on in the round, we do go back to 2 on either side. APOC has heard that. And he might creep forward, look for some info here. Malta's not too eager to take a fight, but he might have to. AVANT gets the timing perfect. That is going to present the opportunity, though, at least for Sicko to plant the bomb. So 1 on 2, definitely workable. Sicko's a pretty handy rifler as well.
He's got a lot of utility to work with. No kits for the CT side. All he needs to do is just get himself into a very favourable post plant. You're not going to be expecting this as AVANT. You last saw him around site. You're expecting him to probably be around bench. But Sicko's actually dropped no utility whatsoever. He just decides to line it up. And that's not going to work out. Another lifeline being bought by AVANT. But it's such a costly one. No warp for them to play with.
One alive, and they can have their economy broken, though. Bring out the soundboard.
Something Marzalai.
Marzalai. No one's going to get that. That's the problem.
I reckon there are some Pilski fans in there. Yeah,
There's
maybe.
no Pilski fans. They don't exist.
Tactical timeout for AVANT. 10-15 is the scoreline. It's relatively imposing still. Just need someone to fire up and put that wind back into the sails of AVANT. Renegades one step closer to pushing us through to Inferno. And AVANT have looked really good up to this point, but now some of that magic seems to be lost.
The thing is, though, that they've really done a good job swinging at least some of the momentum back in their favour. And they've made Renegades exert a little bit more effort to close this map out. Which hopefully will just keep a little bit of doubt in Renegade's mind. I mean, if you close at 16-3 heading into Inferno, you're probably feeling pretty confident. But if AVANT's going to try and make this close on the way out, not only do they feel a little bit better heading into Inferno, but maybe there's just that 5% pause for thought in Renegade's mind.
That's a nice entry. All it takes is one molly. Hazard's on a bit of a lurk around, but In seems to be cottoning on pretty quick as to what could happen here. Inns might as well have just gifted Renegades the final round that they need here on Mirage.
Yeah, with a little red ribbon as well with those entries. But AVANT not really shifting away from the B bomb site. They have to gamble stack somewhere. And as the bomb is slowly heading its way back to the A bomb site, Sterling, like I was saying, not a good performance on Mirage. Really faltering, and he's the only site defense here.
It felt like only a matter of time for Renegades. But at least AVANT has kept it nice and close, and that's a good opening.
Sicko's in the perfect spot to trade it back down. Sterling has no idea. Renegades just walk their way onto the bomb site. AVANT falls as he tries to rotate in, and Offnu's clutched out a couple of rounds here on Mirage, but this one, I think, might be a little bit too far out of the realms of possibility. Malta's spotted him. Sicko's waiting. Sicko was low, but now is the same case for Offnu, as he's down to 4 HP. And Renegades will most certainly be picking up their 16th here. The Molotov goes out. Malta's behind him. Does he go for the knife kill? I'd say yes. And that's a fancy way to finish the map. 16-10, the scoreline. Renegades will pick up their first victory here in the best-of-5 series against AVANT. The scoreline now reads 2 apiece. We'll be locked into a battle on Inferno to find out who will take the victory in DreamHack Masters Spring for ANZ.